Hello, welcome back to Crushing Sounds. My name is Chris, and I'm coming back with an album review for a change. Let's talk about the new album from Froglord. Bubbling away in the southwest of the UK are rising doom band Froglord. Doom and sludge metal have always been something of an unknown genre for myself, especially sludge metal. I think I like doom metal, but to be honest, I often struggle to really know exactly what that term actually means. I do know I love plenty of bands that have the characteristics of what people would call doom metal, such as bands like Oceans of Slumber, Pallbearer, and of course Moon Reaper. Who knows, maybe those bands are just straight doom metal. Let me know down below how you would actually define this genre. Sludge metal, on the other hand, while it's also a subgenre I'm not particularly well versed in, I do know it when I hear it, thanks in part really to how bands within the subgenre take the very visceral imagery of the word sludge and that is incorporated within their sound and image. Case in point, Froglord. First appearing on the scene with 2020's Amphibian Ascending, Froglord has been, for the longest time, a solo project run by their passionate and enthusiastic frontman, releasing albums consistently since then, building up the lore of this cosmic amphibian annihilation. The band have been steadily growing a cult following across the UK, culminating in a stunning set at 2024's Bloodstock Festival on the New Blood stage. Now repurposed as a full-fledged unit, Froglord have released their new studio album, Metamorphosis, on May 2nd. If you want to delve into the backstory behind the band, influences, and their career journey thus far, you can check out the 2 interviews that I have done with the band. They were a lot of fun. Those guys are always a riot to speak to, so I would highly recommend you check those out if you are interested. And massive thank you to the band for sending me this album to review. Sorry it's a little late. So with a new entry in the Froglord story, let's dive straight into Metamorphosis.
Scanner shows that we're approaching something of monstrous size.
As I mentioned right at the top, I think sludge metal is one of the easier subgenres to immediately imagine what you're going to get. Froglord, for me, are one of those bands that are the prime demonstration of what this genre sounds like, and just how infectiously fun it can be. As you know, I love when an album is straight and to the point. We get some eerie tone-setting sound right off the bat on the opening track, Collision, evoking the swamp and sci-fi nature of the album. What I love about this band is the clear love for that kind of B-movie horror in terms of its feel and its atmosphere. Also that sense that you don't really need to take this stuff seriously, it's all just in really good fun. We get our first of many simple yet always satisfying fuzzy riffs. The riffs are for sure a highlight of the entire package. There's a new one every single minute, and on the whole it just gives this album a terrific sense of pace. I think a big part of what draws me to this band so much, as all over this thing, I get some real acid bath vibes. That's not a band I mention much on this channel, but I love those 2 Acid Bath albums, and this music reminds me a lot of when Acid Bath slow things right down. It's just that uneasy, almost bowel-clenchingly monstrous low tones and sense of dread. But I also get moments that gave off Adam Jones from Tool vibes. To bring up Collision again, the lead notes of that chugging low while alternating higher notes, it just reminds me so much of Tool. I, of course, can't not talk about what I call in my interview with the band one of the great music videos of our time. Herman is an awesome song with a brilliantly wacky video to go along with it. Again, it harkens to those B-movie horrors where budget is irrelevant. It's endearing in how they go for it despite minimal resources at their disposal. The song begins with an almost psychedelic vibe to it before it kicks off proper, and we even get a mouth organ / harmonica solo that comes charging in at one point. Also demonstrated here is the other big strength of this band, which is that all the various different vocal styles. We get our usual low guttural screams and clean vocals, but we also get, on some songs, they go for this sort of harsh, clean kind of vibe. This band are really good at knowing when to hang on to an idea, but also know when to launch off into something new. They let the moment sit, but they don't leave it for too long, basically. They like to keep things moving. If every song, for example, had a harmonica solo in it, it would have no impact whatsoever. Do it once on one song, it's more impactful than any guitar solo. If I had to pick a favourite from the album, it would probably be Cryptids. It just brings all the elements together, the riffs, the creepy atmosphere, and a little bit of, again, that sci-fi horror vibe, with the keys element added very subtly underneath the guitars. It also has a slightly faster pace than the other tracks, which I know might sound a little bit sacrilegious to say for a sludge or doom album, but this song flew by at a really cool pace. I can't help my influence. I like fast music. Speaking of pace, again though, the album in total clocks in at around the 38-minute mark, which for me is the perfect length for what it needed to be. While the signature Froglord sound is consistently entertaining, there aren't a whole lot of what I would call dynamic shifts across the album. We get the odd drop down here and there, for sure, but every song is very in your face and very tied to the album's overall vibe and aesthetic. That's not a criticism, by the way. Every song feels integral to the package and none of them are out of place. All I'm saying is that this band was smart enough to know exactly how long it needed to be and to not push it. And of course, when I say every single song is integral and part of the overall package, I'm of course including the Aerosmith cover of Sweet Emotion that ends the album.
Well, I got good news, she's a real good liar. Kiss the backstage booties and your pants on fire.
It's done in Froglord's trademark style, as you would expect, and the fact that this song of all things is here at the end of everything, it reminds you, again, that all this is just meant to be in really good fun, which is exactly what this album needed to be. While Metamorphosis isn't radically different from what the band have brought us before, I don't think it ever needed to be. You know the old saying, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sometimes I think that phrase is thrown around a little bit too much to maybe defend when art is becoming a bit too stale and uninteresting. Essentially, I love when art grows with time and develops with time. However, when there is a band that is doing something, frankly, better than everyone else, then I don't need them to reinvent the wheel, because this isn't boring to me yet, as Froglord is doing this better than pretty much anyone else. Metamorphosis is another solid album from Froglord that will entertain any fans of loud, stompy metal, and if you're of the sludge/doom persuasion, you need to check out these amphibian lunatics. And I know this has nothing to do with the album whatsoever, but they are absolutely a band worth checking out live if you get the chance. Just incredibly entertaining, on record and off record. Always fun, always slimy. Go listen to Froglord. Thank you so much for watching. Go listen to some amazing heavy metal, and I'll see you in the next video.